be and one paramedic, making it an MICU ambulance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just simply added $14 plus $18. It's $32 times 24 hours times 365 is $280,000.
Right. Okay, so that's your whole package. But when you show the number up for
That was the vehicle.
that was just the vehicle,
And that's
right?
what we're saying, that the
Okay.
sum of the two is $500,000.
But
start-
that wasn't the end of the budget, right? I mean, that was the purchase.
We got more slides.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, I think your point is right on.
I
think
don't think you're comparing the same thing. You're talking about the initial purchase of the machine. You're talking about staffing the whole thing.
We only got this far in the presentation.
Okay, well, I was just thinking, I didn't think we were comparing the same thing.
I think your point is exactly correct, because what has happened in this process over and over is, minds go all kinds of places, and, you say an ambulance, and does that mean the physical ambulance, or does that mean a staffed ambulance, and how does all that work? We have a lot of work after this fight is now over, we have a lot of work to clear up those definitions, because literally, everyone who's heard 200 crazy things on Facebook has built their own definition set, and we have to get back to getting things back, back to something that we can all talk about. So I think your point is exactly right, Crystal. I think we need to spend a lot of time as a team defining those definitions in a way that everyone can agree with.
But I guess one thing to try to make sure we understand, in order for us to even think about doing this, we had to look at, either we're going to try and start it next year, and if we are, we needed to do the tax rate now. If we weren't going to start it till 2 years, we could wait another year. So we were in kind of a conundrum of, because this came to us very late in the process, this didn't, and again, we didn't generate this idea ourselves, it came to us from the county. So we felt like, well, we need to go ahead and put this in here and start this plan so that we can get this done.
And that's why
I mean, and I'll be, if we get to a point in here and go, there's no way in the world we can start this by October 1st and do it right, we won't do it.
Yeah, and that's
I mean, because we're gonna do this well, we're gonna do this excellently at the highest level of service, or we're not gonna do it.
One of the questions I will have at that town hall meeting is, okay, the ambulance costs $260, the bodies cost $280. And that's what we just said, right?
Ambulance is one something, not two.
I thought he said $263,000. Is that?
The
Oh,
ambulance
that the
was
ambulance
150.
and the supplies, okay.
And the
yeah.
supplies.
Okay,
And the
yeah.
supplies, and then you add the bodies to it.
Right.
So that's $500,000. Okay, so you've got to then come up with $500,000 times 8.
Yeah.
No?
You know what, I think we're gonna continue to go down the same path. We really need to clarify very well, with many people in the room, all of the different definitions. Because, we're talking about an ambulance in year 1, 2017, at the high list there was $135 plus $81,000 worth of supplies. Okay, back that down a little bit, we're not gonna buy $135,000, we're gonna negotiate our supplies less than $81,000. We're gonna spend a certain amount to buy the rigs.
So the rig will be $150, I don't care.
Right, that's right.
But then you add the
exactly right.
$280 on top of it.
But we don't need to add the 280, and, sir, we don't need to add the 280 until year 2. We don't need to add the 280 until year 2, because year 1 is the capitalization year to achieve the purchases of the ambulances, probably with some of the existing services, probably in ways that are very economical that we have not been able to talk about yet because of the fights. We want to try to get those things done and get through the first capitalization year, and then in year 2, we don't have to capitalize in year 2 because we've already done that. In year 2, we begin to pay the regular operational duties. So back to Crystal's point, you are so right that we're going to end up talking apples to oranges, and we've got to get it down to apples to apples.
So there's a possibility of buying all 8 or obtaining 8 vehicles with nothing in them, with nobody to drive them in year 1 with that $900,000. it's close, is what you're saying. I can buy that. But then year two, you got, you know, $250,000 times 8. That's another 2 million, right?
No.
What do you mean? I mean, 280,000 for the bodies for that thing to run, 7 by 24, 365.
Well, again, I think we have another definition piece that Mr. Kelly and Mr. Bruner and maybe Mr. Miller could help us with. The main issue is it's 4, right? We have 8 physical rigs, and then we staff, like I was saying, the primary rig initially with 4. That's one part of our budget, and then figuring out the secondary part.
Okay, all I'm saying is, don't forget the cost of the bodies,
Of
because
course.
in the Army, I can buy a tank till the cows come home, but the bodies are more expensive in the long run.
So,
I mean, I don't disagree with you that we
Yeah.
need to sharpen our pencils.
Yeah,
I mean, we do, there's no doubt. All of you have brought up very good points. And, you know, we need to go back and look at this and go, oh, you know, did we forget something? Do we agree or disagree?
and
you
that
know,
makes sense
but-
if you
but
run 8 or 4.
The fact that you guys have brought this up has helped us to go, you know, you know, do we need to pause for a minute, look at the numbers, make sure it's doable? But again, you know, like I said, we won't do this, we won't start on October 1st unless we're ready.
I just now got the fact. I thought it was 8 sets of bodies. It's 4 sets of bodies and 8 pieces of equipment potentially. It never balanced. I've been doing this for a week. I'm saying, where is it? You can't do this.
You know, Jim, I told you this morning, I mean, you know, of course we need input from anybody that's got an idea, anybody has any expertise. Are y'all open to becoming a part of this process going forward?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I did it in Fairfax County and got in the 3rd largest school district in the country and got beat up for all those years, so, yeah, I guess.
Is that a yes?
I said, yeah, I guess.
But, you know, it's just,
But you need to assume that the rollback is gonna succeed, and you gotta beat that rollback
that's right.
with these things we're talking about, because I'm telling you, it's probably gonna succeed. So, and as much as Marvin says it ain't, I bet it is. So,
I mean, and that's okay. I mean, we
Yeah,
knew we were exposing
Yeah,
ourselves,
yeah.
and we were willing to do that.
But
Because we didn't feel like we should, you know, raise them just below the limit for rollback until we got what we wanted, because we felt like that would be dishonest. We wanted to say, here's what we want to do.
The hard thing
I think
is
we
doing-
failed to communicate.
The hard thing is doing percentages with decimals. And people
Yeah.
think that the .03, they think that's 0.3%, but then they got a dollar sign in front of it, that means it's 3 pennies, and there's a distinct difference, and no one understood that, it was floating.
oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. The number of erroneous math that took place on Facebook that
I got
many
math.
smart people didn't correct.
Yeah.
It was off the charts.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
but-
27.5 is in fact right.
Oh, no, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
but
But it's not
it's
27.5
also,
cents.
As a percentage.
it's also, but it's also
It's not
$50.
27.5 cents.
It's also $50 a year, you know, and so some people thought, 27, you know,
Well,
when you
it depends
say
on where, what
your
your
taxes are
tax
going up.
base is.
Well, I'd say
So
it's
your
more
taxes are
than-
going up 27.5%, you think all of them are.
It's more than that to me.
And it's like, no, just our little piece, $50, you know.
You know, and Carter, your point is well taken. I mean, we've got to communicate this better, we've got to communicate it with harder facts. We have got, it is imperative that that this plan wins. It's imperative for the people, because I think, you know, I know one of the ideas that has been thrown around is a countywide ESD. That's gonna be a board, that's gonna be a taxing authority, and we've got ESDs now with a 10-cent tax. That, I mean, until this year, we only had a 10-cent tax. So, I mean, I think we all need to come together and work together to find a way that this plan is a solid plan that has got the input of a lot of good people working together. Told you this morning, every day we need to make everything we do better.
And those would be elected board positions, I assume.
No.
No.
Well, you know, there's something unseemly about taxing authorities that are staffed by people that are not elected.
Well, they're appointed by commission.
They're all elected, yeah, I'm
We
sure,
are these guys.
I know, but
He's
the
talking
next
about
one,
the
you're talking about,
ESD.
if you're gonna make, if they're gonna have taxing authority, they need to be elected, because there's a separation of powers doctrine that would.
Are ESDs elected?
No, sir.
They're
Only,
elected.
yeah, chapter 775 is the legislation that governs the ESDs. An ESD that's contained within a county, it has an appointed board by Commissioners Court.
But
An
they're
ESD
voted on. Are they voted on?
No, ma'am. An
ESD. You can
ESD,
just
an
do-
ESD that's
Commissioners
formed,
out.
that is within a county, one county, as long as it's within the county boundaries, then the Commissioners Court appoints all of the board commissioners. Now, if an ESD is formed that crosses county lines, then it becomes elected. Don't ask me why, but that's what 775 says, and that's the rule.
But your question about the ESDs, the creation of the ESD has to be approved by the voters.
Yes.
That's what I was
And the county
asking.
commissioners can be fired,
So it's voted on.
Yes.
so.
The creation of the ESD, the board members themselves are appointed.
Exactly, that's what my question
Oh,
was.
yeah, the whole thing, everything has to be voted.
Yeah.
All right.
But we just, I feel, we have the best vehicle. I believe we have a great track record. I believe we have a lot of great resources. I believe we have a great culture here. I believe we have great momentum here. We've got we've got doctors, we've got nurses, we've got protocols, we've got medical directors. We got a lot of things going for us. We just.
And I think we're in violent agreement, and I think those are attaboy points for the people in the community, so, yeah, we need to, you need to win them,
We just need to sharpen our pencil.
yeah, well, you need to win them.
Let me make a suggestion, because
Well, I think our pencil was sharpened. I think that the clarification, I think there was a lack in clarification on, and at fault on both sides, ours as well as the public's, because we made it very open to everyone. All of the meetings, all of our intentions, you know, we were approached by the county commissioners, by the county judge. You know, we have so much on our plate right now that doing this just added, you know, an extra hour and a half to every board meeting.
And
And
can I say something too, since I was not a board member before? Okay, as a new member, I will let you know that I had really no information, and it didn't affect me personally. So, okay, I'm good. There's a whole lot of people out there, until you hit their pocketbook, they don't care. And that's why there's all the uproar now. When there was a public meeting and all that stuff, they didn't really think it affected them, so they didn't come. See?
Right,
So now it's in their pocketbook, so now they're involved. And so it's our duty then to make sure that they're informed. This is the second or third meeting I've been to where this same issue has been addressed multiple times. Y'all were at the other ones maybe. But there were other meetings that I've been to just recently, the past 2 meetings before this one. The EMS issue was addressed. The group from Stockdale was here one time, another group. So we've had 3 different groups of people that have come to this same meeting, with the same issues,
Ours was there last time also.
but now we got the rollback.
Well,
That's the
no, but
addition.
these were the EMS groups over there, they weren't the private.
Stockdale
citizens.
EMS was here.
Right, I'm talking about,
No, there were lots of
Yeah,
people
There was
here.
public
Well,
input.
there was,
all
yeah, for
kinds of
example,
people.
there was a paramedic or an EMT,
Yes.
I don't know which she was, but,
Yes.
because
She
they
had
were
issues.
asking, you know, what's gonna happen to our jobs? You know, so, that sort of thing. So, I mean, we've been getting more and more input. I can tell you, you know, in the, you know, I've been on the board almost 4 years, and in the past 3 meetings, has been 99% of the people who ever showed up for one of our meetings.
Yeah.
Because people are in general, you know, I mean, let me, you know, like, I have no idea if the Lavernia School District taxes went up this year. They probably did. They didn't, I don't know. But when they went up last time, I didn't go raise a stink about it because I didn't think I could do anything about it anyway. And I think people tend to see tax increases that come through like that, so most people are apathetic. The difference between them and you is you're more informed, because you're closer to it. You know, and some people actually read stuff and look at things and get involved, but most people are just flat out apathetic. So, you know, one of the things about going out and having meetings, we can do that, but I promise you, the vast majority of people who don't care will not show up. The people who are mad about it are the ones that are gonna show up, so I guess then we'll just have to try and convince them, you know, so.
That apathy is what's been, I think, it's not lack of trying on the board's part of communicating information, it's the apathy of the people that affect.
There's huge apathy well, people feel like they can't do anything. You know, government does stuff to us.
Do you remember the 8.5 million certificate of obligation?
Mhm.
That was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because we didn't want the money put, it was the process that it went through.
Yeah.
And once he went out and he talked to all of the cities, it fell into place. You don't need to focus, I mean, I love the EMTs, but you don't need to focus on the 25 or 30 that are looking for jobs. You need the 31,000 that are registered voters is who you need to focus on.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, I know there was a rollback petition in Big Bear. I promise you, 99% of the people who went in there didn't have the slightest clue what that was for. They just don't know, they don't care, they're not informed, you know. I mean, they might have looked at it, they might have signed it, or they might have looked at it and go, I don't know what that is, so I'm not gonna sign it. But, I mean, and you may well get the signatures, and if you do, we will do what we need to do.
Yeah, I think our, and I think the board would agree that our failure has been, not that we did not do everything legally, because we had the legal opinions, we had all the meetings, we had everything's posted, and we thought that would be enough, but it's obviously not. That we need to go out with hard numbers and hard facts and visit every community in this county and invite citizens. If we gotta sit down and make phone calls to invite them, and get a consensus. We assumed that when we went through the legal process and nobody showed up at the public hearing twice, that they're okay with it. Well, they're not. Okay, so that's a lesson learned.
Probably moonlight trying to make money so they can pay their taxes. I mean,
Well, the challenge is
I-
even harder than that. As you said, Mr. Miller, most people are ill-informed about these issues. And if in fact, or uninformed. And if this issue, which I believe Carter, that is 99.9% that they will have the signatures on the petition for the rollback, that most people will go and vote, and given the choice, do I pay taxes or do I not pay taxes? Okay, that it is now incumbent upon this board, okay, to ensure that the voters are informed. Okay?
Jim, I want to build on that, because I was about to say this with Larry. I want to build exactly on what you said, because it's actually both are very aligned. You know why all of us have to do this? You know why your group has to do this and we have? Because this is the single most important healthcare issue in this county, you know, for the next decade. This is the most important thing. A countywide standardized service that is financially viable is the most important thing. And we have the opportunity right now, both as the hospital district and the public, to make it happen. And we're gonna make it happen, and it is gonna happen. So from my side, just like the hospital board and us, and you all too can influence this, this is the most important healthcare issue this county will face this decade, and we have to make this happen together. So I'm really building on both Larry's comment and your comment. That's exactly why we have to go out and tell the story, because we have to make this issue happen.
how are you gonna answer the objective study? How are you gonna answer that?
We've certainly had outside reads, we've certainly had outside information presented to us, and when the board in its entirety, with my leadership and Deborah's leadership, when we came to the conclusion that we had enough information to move forward, that we were confident in our ability to make this happen and to make it occur, that's when we decided to
So,
move
so
forward.
you didn't get an outside agent?
Yes, sir, we did. Mr. Thomas, we had a gentleman that runs the Weatherford EMS.
That's what that,
Yeah, he prepared the budget that we're talking
is
about.
that the Smith guy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And he has no affiliation with us, other than, we're
That's
paying
good,
for
that's
his
good
service.
info, that's
Yeah,
good info. I was gonna ask that, who was this Paul Smith guy?
Yeah,
Was
I
that
never
your
report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And give him-
that was it.
We have that, and that's his developer number, so that's who's gonna also be with you guys when you come and help us.
See,
Sharpen
Yeah, I
our.
think we felt like, from our perspective, we did due diligence on this. What we didn't do was communicate sufficiently that we did due diligence and put it out there. I mean, because there is so much, I've had people come and, ask me stuff and say just, I'm like, well, where did that come from? I mean, we had people come to us and say, well, oh, you're just doing this because you want the transport business. Well, the transport business did not even come to our attention until after we had already voted on the tax cuts.
But I want to assure you that the rollback petition, completely factual, no made-up stuff in it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying
Like
that,
two
people had, a lot of people have all these different
bullet points.
ideas. Some of their ideas are
They
accurate.
authorized 8%, and they went to 27.5%. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
You sign.
Yeah, but see, here's the other side. If we said to you, we're gonna provide a centralized, a consolidated ambulance service for Wilson County, improved turn times, improved quality, and it's gonna cost you $50 a year.
Well, it's not cost-
Now,
cost me a
no,
whole
that,
lot
it's
more.
It's
exactly,
the average.
Yeah.
okay, so your house is
Yeah.
more. Okay, it's gonna cost you X.
I don't.
Is that, but see, it's like asking a poll question in these elections. You can ask a poll question one way to get an answer that you want. Now, so the thing is, well, they're raising taxes by 27.5%. Are you okay with this or do you want it rolled back? Versus they're proposing to provide you with a high-quality professional ambulance service, and it's gonna cost you $50 a year more if your house is worth $165,000.
But that's not what the petition says.
It's
The
not.
petition says they've raised the taxes 27.5%. Do you want to vote on it?
Okay, but what I'm
That's
saying.
the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, had,
But
the
it
petition
doesn't
could have
say
also
it's
said,
27.5%.
but the petition, what I'm saying is, it would be just as truthful if the petition said, we're gonna raise your taxes by $50 a year based on a $165,000 home, and for that, we're gonna provide you with, a countywide ambulance service. It's the same exact thing, but phrased differently. Now, I think that more people, if you came to me and said, I'm gonna raise your taxes 27.5%, I'd say, the hell you are.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, okay, but if you came to me and said, I'm gonna provide you with a superior service for $5 more a month, or $10 more a month, I would have a different mindset about it. So it's sort of the way the question is
And
being
as I
asked.
said
Both
earlier-
questions are accurate.
As I said at the very beginning, if the board would have said to the public, we are going to ask you if we can raise your taxes 3 times what we normally can do without your permission for a 2-year period, it would have been a different selling point than coming out and saying, we're doing it 3 cents on the dollar. And it sounded like it was.
3 cents on the $100.
Well, it was 3 cents on the $100. It still, that sounded like a cutesy answer. So
Um,
I can tell you, gentlemen and ladies, that I personally went through the extra effort, because most people in Livonia, where I live, ask why. They're not, they're uninformed.
Yeah.
Because we all know everybody is. If it doesn't, poke me in the side, I don't look. And we did tell them, we told them they plan on providing a countywide service. And the question always was, well, we have a service already. How is their plan better than what you have? And I personally, and this is the question I've always had, was, I don't know, because I can't see it.
Fair enough.
Let me address.
That was
Well,
literally,
that's-
but I wanted to
that's
make
perfectly
sure,
fair.
because I have to,
We didn't communicate well enough.
integrity
We
myself.
considered, we had a long discussion
Right.
about only doing the parts of the county that were very underserved. Okay, we had long discussions about that, and the the districts that we're taxing for ambulance services now, cutting them out of the thing. But we came to the conclusion that that we cannot tax part of the county. We have to tax all of it. You can't just cut them out.
Right,
no,
We have to
we
do it all.
can't. You
So
don't
if
have
we,
that.
if we have to tax all of the county, we have to provide a service for all of the county. And there was no way around that. There was no way for us.
The only
to do it.
caveat, I will tell you legally, just so you understand, chapter 775 actually allows that. What you said you can't do, it does allow that. It says that if a district is formed and it crosses pre-existing district lines, that the people in the original district do not have to pay that tax. It is available, I'm not saying it's the way to go, but you
As an
should know.
ESD,
We're
not
not
as
forming,
a,
we're not forming a new taxing
Right.
entity though.
Well, yeah, one of the things, we have, besides the regular board meeting, we have strategic planning meeting, where it's a little bit smaller group and it's typically focused in on a specific topic, like this.
Right.
What I'm suggesting is that we schedule our next strategic planning meeting, we make sure that all the people that are here tonight know when that is, and ask you to join us in that meeting. It's a lot less formal than the board meeting. You'd be sitting up here with us and we'd be talking about it and going over it. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in
I
doing?
would greatly appreciate it, sir.
I think our next strategic, you correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, is scheduled for the 29th, which is a Tuesday
Of what?
of November.
I'll be at the MS conference.
Yeah,
I'm an administrator, I have to go.
the Tuesday after Thanksgiving was.
Right, which is the 20.
When will you be back?
Thanksgiving, I'm leaving
No,
literally
it's the Tuesday after
to
Thanksgiving.
tomorrow, yeah. Oh, Tuesday after.
After,
Tuesday.
the
Yeah,
29th.
29th.
Oh, okay, that's Tuesday,
Okay.
what time?
Okay, I would invite all these gentlemen, please come. Your input's been invaluable, and I'd invite you all to come.
Let me, I just, and I kind of look at things in number senses, you know? I look at, say, Stockdale, which is ESD 3.
Three.
Okay, so, let me back up first. I think it is, I don't think this board has changed. I don't want to speak for this board, but I know this board pretty well, but I don't think this board has changed its goals any, and that is to ask for the tax for the next 2 years and then take the tax away entirely and find a way that this thing, we never talked about it making money, we always talked about if it'll just break even and deliver the services to the people of this county, that will be a winning deal, okay? So let's assume that we find a way to get to there. People in Stockdale, ESD 3, so they're gonna invest 3 cents this year. They're gonna invest 3 cents next year. In year 3, they're gonna get 10 cents back. That's 170% return on their investment in year 3. People in Eagle Creek are gonna invest 3, they'll get 3 back the following year, 3 back the next year. That's a return on their investment in year 3 of 50%. That's why I keep talking about, I look at this as an investment. Now,
He's talking about them dropping their taxes that they're already collecting. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, but in the Wilson County, right?
In the
Wilson
ESDs.
County won't, it's a 3 and a 3, and
There's
the
two
return.
that
You
I'm
got
trying.
it.
And the return in Wilson County is, hopefully, that, and we don't believe there's anything wrong with the system now. We just feel like it's gonna be easier to make this transition when there's 50,000 people than when there's 80,000 people. Because will the volunteer system be able to sustain the growth that is coming our way? It's coming our way, no matter what. So that's the way I look at it. But it is imperative that we find a way to get to where we originally planned to go. We've got to find a way to get there.
Yes.
And we've got to put all of our heads together to make that happen. Right?
So, gentlemen, is the 28th a good date for you guys?
29th.
29th, I'm sorry.
Skip, you too.
This has been great input, and we appreciate you coming, I really do. But help us. Come help us. We've always asked for that.
And ladies,
And ladies, I'm sorry. You too. Okay? So we will do that. Okay. Let's move on just a little bit. Is there anyone else in the room that has not had the opportunity to speak that would like to do so? Well, the rest of us gonna shut up for a little bit. So anybody else in the room that would like to say anything, please.
I would just like to say one thing. I hope that we take this meeting and tonight for what we have accomplished and not go out and tomorrow or in an hour on social media, we're trashed or slammed all over again. I really hope that. I really do.
I wonder if you get social media, see what you're talking about.
Oh, it's out there. That's my comment.
We've all got homes on social media. Anybody else? Anyone else who'd like to have any input?
You
Okay.
gotta remember, those are gutless people. I mean, they get a side
We do. Hearing none, I think we will move on. Brian, we're at 6B, property update.
As I mentioned in the Finance Committee meeting, we do have two updates on medical office building. One, we participated in a process on Tuesday to try to come to a value of a two-story building. We did achieve that value at $1.5 million. We'll bring some review of the financing mechanisms to that, to the Finance Committee in the future. Simultaneously, we also have received an opportunity to acquire the single-story medical office building on the front of our campus, and we'll begin to discuss that property in Finance Committee in the not-too-distant future.
Is that building repaired? Is that building repaired?
The building is, the foundation has